for those of you out there that are stringing on electronic,
fancy people,
constant pull, that's probably more like 51, 52 on a constant pull machine. So not really all that crazy tight.
No, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's not all that bad. It's proper.
We are gonna have. Can we have a count up in the corner when this gets edited? How many times the word "proper" is used? That's, I think, the proper first usage.
Yeah.
Hello, welcome to Talk Tennis. It's a Friday here at Tennis Warehouse. We're having Friday vibes. Troy is joining me.
It's Friday then. It's Saturday, Sunday. What?
And welcome, Manish, your first podcast.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Always been watching this. Now I'm on the other side. It's nice to be here.
Who let this guy in the room?
Troy, I was gonna wear my hat backwards, but I'm like, maybe.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I don't want Troy giving me,
I'd be so frustrated.
And for anyone that is playing along, we are live on YouTube as we record this. So if you have any questions, comments, banter,
hit us up.
Yeah. Manish is manning the YouTube channel comments. Please be nice.
No, everything they say I'm going to be seeing here. If I have any of my mates talking anything about me,
You have mates? I didn't know you had friends.
Oh my god, it's going to be hard to get through.
It's going to be like the Office. Every time you say something, I'm like,
Yeah, so like on the West Coast right now, it's almost lunchtime.
I
on
know.
the East Coast, it's almost happy hour. So
5 o'clock somewhere.
And then around the world, I don't even know after that.
Yeah, they're playing tennis in like the UK and places.
It's 6 a.m. in Fiji. None of my mates back home are watching this.
What the heck?
It's 6 a.m. on a Saturday.
Well, I do know most of like the United States is on summer break, so
Yeah.
you guys should be done sleeping in and hanging out with us, hopefully.
It looked like driving into work, there was a lot of people on the road, like
It's a holiday weekend. It's Father's Day weekend.
headed out for like vacation.
Oh, and graduation. Oh man,
It is.
graduation weekend.
Yeah.
Avoid.
What, 5 a.m. in the morning?
Travis
Everybody's
Scott
on.
voice. It's lit.
Okay,
It's
so today we are trying something new, but we're hoping that it catches on so we can do it more often. Today we took 2 strings, went down and play tested them head to head this morning in our racket of choice, tension of choice. We tested Luxilon 4G against Luxilon Element IR Soft. They're both extremes of the spectrum. Troy's making a lot of noise right now. Element Soft IR is the newest in the lineup for Luxilon and is probably going to test as their softest string, whereas 4G is actually the opposite and the firmest, probably stiffest of the Luxilon strings. But we put them to the test and we're going to kind of just banter and chat about it today. So if you guys have tested these strings before, chime in, let us know what your thoughts are, and we'll do the same.
Shout out to Stefano Tsitsipas if you're watching live right now. No, I'm just kidding. But he uses 4G, and we were talking earlier in the season, there was like a video of him practicing. I think it was right when clay court season started.
Yeah.
And he had the IR soft in his racket. And everybody's like, oh, he's going to switch to IR soft because that's like a big jump.
That's a huge jump.
4G, like the stiffest Luxilon poly to their softest yet. And he was practicing with it, and then by the time it came around to matches, he was back with his regular string.
I can understand that.
And at first we were like, oh, did he get like recommended the string? How come he didn't like go like down the pipeline, like Alu Power, regular Element, stuff like that?
Yeah.
But then someone on the message boards like posted that maybe his brother.
Okay.
Is it Petros?
Yes.
Yeah, was using the IR or something. So maybe he was just like, hey, bro, try it out. It's better for you because Steph's had a little bit of, arm issues over the years. So we're doing the Steph test today.
We're doing the Steph test. I also, I wanted to hybrid it. We didn't have a chance to do that today, but is anyone hybriding it on tour?
I don't know of these 2 particular ones.
So.
No?
There is
Okay.
quite a few of like ALU with Element.
Okay.
I know like Monfils did that for a bit, and then someone was mentioning that Raducanu is doing like a mix of 2 Luxilons, but I don't know about the 4G and the
Element.
new Element.
Yeah.
Maybe the regular, but
yeah. That would be so interesting.
I'm down.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I'm kind of bummed. I'm kind of bummed, that I didn't get regular Element in a racket to also test to remind me how that plays, and then also kind of bummed we didn't have a chance. But hey, we have lots more Fridays to do stuff like that. Are there any other players that we want to talk about that are using 4G? I know there's like a lot, but yeah.
and it's
There's a good amount on there. Huh?
Yeah.
There's a pretty good amount.
The only thing is it's a little confusing. Sometimes you don't know if they're using regular or the 4G soft or the rough. I know Damon Hour's, pretty much been using rough because we did a video with him in Indian Wells.
Yeah.
And it was his blade with the 4G rough. So I think he's still using the rough. Stefanos, 4G, I believe like Ostapenko, big flat hitter.
Let's go.
4G. And then there's quite a few of the like WTA girls, I think.
Yeah, that's what everyone keeps saying, a lot of WTA players.
Yeah, there's a few. I want to say like maybe like Kudermetova or Anisimova. There was a couple of them that were using blades that were using 4G.
4G.
It's just I'm not sure if it was a soft version or not. But yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty popular.
Cool. Let's talk about what our setups were. Manish, you want to...
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're blasting it out. Go for it.
Well, we are what
I want to hear you.
what did you say? I'm sorry. I'm trying to...
It's too easy. No, I'm just kidding. We are going to tell the listeners what our setups are today. So you...
Well, like we said, we were using the 4G and then the Element Soft IR. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What rackets?
Mm-hmm.
My racket of choice.
There you go. Oh, okay. Breaking news.
It's funny because when I first started at web content, I was big on the blades. The 1820s I've used all my life. So, but then Oak put me on this.
Oh.
Who's our other new playtester? Yeah.
Oak or was it Karoo?
And then it's not just because it's Karoo who's playing with this, and so I'm a fan, and so I'm playing with this.
Fanboy.
I think I'm not fanboy.
You're not? Did you admit it, or did you just say I'm not? You are. It's okay. I get it. It's fine. I get it.
But it's nice, man. Especially with like these two strings.
So sorry, real quick.
Yeah, you still didn't say.
You said racket of choice.
Yeah, you still didn't say what your racket of choice is.
Saying this is your racket
Wait,
of choice?
and like, didn't you have almost as many RFs as I did at one point?
I might have more.
Oh.
Now I have 14.
Oh, you have more.
Because I know you have like a good amount of RFs, yeah. But I don't know why. Because I have like and it's funny because I have swing weights from 320 all the way to 335.
Oh wait, that's it. I have like, come on.
But
do
it's
you
like
even
increments
swing
of
an
just
RF?
one swing weight.
Literally the ones on this table: 336, 342.
Well, I don't. Yeah.
Weak sauce, Manish. Weak
But yeah,
sauce.
the 100D, dude.
Do you even
the
RF?
The Percept 100D, 1819 string pattern. So lots of control.
Did you just say that was your racket of choice? Because you kind of started this story.
It's a commitment, man.
Late 1820.
Don't joke with us.
Are you going to say this is number one or
Don't.
number two?
This is for now my number 2. I'm still.
Then you can't call it your racket of choice.
I can.
Don't mess with our emotions.
No, but this is something that I think I'm gonna be playing with a good amount because I just like the 100 square inch head size and the control that comes with it. Yeah, because it's giving you a lot of control.
I get it.
And I customized it. I'm not just using it regular. I put some teed up tungsten tape and teed up leather. Teed up leather to jack up the swing weight and the static weight, so it's quite nice actually.
What's the static weight?
Static weight is 315 something.
Oh.
Unstrung.
Okay. What does it relate to in
Just shy
ounces
of
and
12,
strung?
like
Okay.
Probably like 11.8 or something.
Yeah.
And then what's the strung swing weight? Because I don't
Strong
speak
swing weight
in
is
unstrung.
330 and the other one is about 327. So it's around that.
Yeah.
Still swing,
I'm here
but
for
you
it.
can't swing, you're not swinging too big.
What'd you string up? What tension?
Okay, so I might get a good amount of spice on the internet for this because
okay.
it's 2 different strings and 2 different ends of the spectrum, but then I used the same tension on both. I did 55
That's a fair test.
on the 4G. Yeah, because a lot of people on the forums ask like, how can you compare 2 different strings if you're not stringing on the same racket at the same tension at the same time?
That's what we did.
I did.
Yeah.
And now my elbow hurts.
But also, just to put that into context, he strung them at 55 on a lockout, like a crank machine.
Yeah.
So on a for those of you out there that are stringing on a electronic,
fancy people.
constant pull, that's probably more like 51, 52 on a constant pull machine. So not really all that crazy tight.
No,
Yeah.
that's not bad.
Yeah, it's not all that bad. It's proper.
We are gonna have. Can we have a count up in the corner when this
many
gets
times you
edited?
say
How many
proper?
times the word "proper" is used? That's, I think, the proper first usage.
Yes.
Troy, what do you have swinging? What were you swinging this morning?
Oh,
I know,
shiny,
wow.
the shiny Emerald Blade.
I thought he was gonna
Pro
put it in the Pro Staff
Pros.
6195.
So I explained that to Manish yesterday.
Okay, explain.
I have been, I really love the 6195. I've been hitting it a lot. But in the last 5-6 years, I predominantly have, at my racket of choice, have been 16-19.
Yeah.
A little more open pattern.
Yeah.
And what I was trying to explain to Manish was that when I'm testing a new string, a poly, and I play with a lot of spin usually, I really want to get the strings moving and snapping back and sliding.
Yeah.
And a more open pattern helps me get the most out of the string movement. So
That makes sense.
really wanted to open it up like a young, fresh
We're singing
bottle of
wines
wine,
now.
you know.
Yeah.
In the where do you put that? What's that thing?
Decanter?
Called? Decanter.
You decanted the string.
I wanted to open it up like a young,
Pre-stretch.
like a young Cabernet. But went with the Blade
Our second
Pro.
podcast will be after hours when we talk about the
Yes,
wines.
yes.
That'd be nice.
It'd be nice.
Ciders, wines,
Dude,
and
I'm
beers.
down.
Dude.
But the Blade Pro,
yeah.
Pro Lab, Blade Pro 16x19.
Blade Pro 16 by 19.
Yeah,
Pros.
so we had a couple here. Went 4G on the crank machine, the lockout, at 49 pounds, which actually is kind of tight for me. I'm usually down to like 47, 45. But went 49, and then with the Element IR Soft, I went 51.
Okay.
Just because I knew there was a dynamic stiffness difference there, and I wanted to try to keep them balanced. And oh man, as soon as I hit the Element, like I think I got the tension perfect.
Dialed.
I might this racket may never make it back to the wall.
How-
This one right here, this is bloody good racket.
Bloody brilliant.
But what were we saying?
I was gonna say 49 on our Neoses. What would that be on like a constant pull?
Probably like 46,
46.
around there. It's a few pounds usually. It's a percentage kind of difference, but
Mm.
yeah.
All
But,
right.
I mean, 4G is stiff. I used to string when I actually used to play 4G back in the day. And that's something we'll get into more. But I have a lot of history with 4G. This is my first time today ever hitting the Element IR Soft. But I used to string it in a 6195, 1820, or like a microgel radical, which was a 95, 1820. At like 40, I even went down to like 38 at one point. Just because those rackets are so, well, the radical was really low powered.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm used to stringing it low because I know how stiff it is. Yeah.
Makes
and that's
sense.
something to note too, people out there. If you're trying 4G, unless you're hitting it clean and ripping it like a Stefanos, like a Elena Ostapenko, drop the tension down on 4G because it is literally the stiffest poly out there. But as we'll go into detail, that's not necessarily a bad thing because it has some really good qualities that come along with that stiffness.
I was gonna say the rough is also really nice. The 4G rough is really nice.
And a little bit softer.
It is a bit softer. We have seen in general,
Which one?
right?
4G rough.
4G rough.
Rough. Yeah, that
Sorry.
one has a nice feel to it right
Yeah.
right off the bat. But that one to me, it drops. It gets
Yeah,
really
backs out.
it gets really springy.
Yeah. I think it's the rough.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
And-
in general, we haven't we seen that textured and rough strings tend to be a bit more softer
Yes,
across the board.
and
Yeah.
one thing that Jonathan Wolf explained to me, our string guru that started at the USRSA and now is here
shout out.
killing it.
Wolf
But
man.
and Chris also explained it to me. But the rough strings oftentimes they're softer, and it's actually because they end up being thinner after you stretch them and hit with them for a while. Because for me, I thought the rough texture was like little bumps on the string, like little hills or mounds that stood out from the string, but it's actually the opposite. It's
Yeah,
more
it's
like a golf
cut
ball.
in, yeah.
It's like little scoops. It's little divots that they take out of the string.
Okay, remember, I don't think we have it anymore, but remember that string roughener
Oh yeah,
that
yeah,
you could
yeah.
get? And it was
Oh,
like,
what?
Yeah. And
It was
would,
like to make
crimp.
it was to make your own rough
It was
string.
to make your own rough string. So that's what I just assumed they always did to the rough string. And it was
Maybe.
like a crimper. It just
Yeah.
like, woof.
Maybe it's like that, but basically they're little divots. So
Okay.
when you stretch it and pull it, it ends up being
Stretched
thinner,
out.
softer.
Okay.
And typically a positive is that it is more powerful, softer usually, the rough version compared to the regular version of a string, but less tension maintenance, less control, less consistency over time.
Okay.
So it depends on what you're going for.
Yeah. And I definitely want to make sure that we are adding all these like tips and tricks for stringing and people that are trying maybe new setups. So thank you, and please keep giving us all the details, and we'll get our learn on.
All the deets.
All the deets. I know, I'm trying to sound cool. I'll just go over real quick. I have it in my RF97. I already mentioned 2 different swing weights, which is always interesting when you're testing side by side. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I don't string my rackets, but I think they came in at 55, 56 pounds probably. Yeah.
When was the last time you strung a racket? I don't think I have ever seen you.
No, you have never seen me.
I don't think I have. Yeah.
I've seen it.
When we had a little bit of a power outage the other day, I did ask Troy to reteach me, but I am notoriously a bad stringer. I go through like every couple of years, I'll like ask to be retaught, and then it takes me too long, and then I'm over it.
Yeah.
Well, you can't call yourself a bad stringer because you haven't really put in the practice.
I know.
You know.
Yeah. That sounds bad.
It's like riding a bike, you know.
I'm not a
Don't
good
ask
bike
Michelle
rider.
about sorry, I didn't want to bring that up.
I'm gonna go hide under the table.
Well,
Don't ask me to ride a bike.
It's a Troy thing to do. Like when I first started, I used to have like the lock bar not sometimes on. And on the Neos, you need that. Like, and I'm not used to that. I used to have the 6-point mount back home, back in Fiji. And as soon as he comes out onto the floor where I'm stringing, he would just clock it like a hawk.
Well, I mean,
Well, yeah, because you're damaging the racket. Luckily, they were like used old demos that we have you guys train on. But like, you don't put the lock bar on, you're gonna break the racket. You're like literally, that's the worst thing you can do on a lockout machine. So.
But don't
call me crazy.
There's some days that I wish I could string because it's like I see you guys like methodically stringing, listen to your podcast, listen to your music, having a good chat, like having a proper chat.
Having a proper little string session.
So like it's something that. Yeah,
it's fun.
I will learn how to string.
Here's
something
is fun.
for you. I will learn how to string properly before I play pickleball.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
Hey, you'd rather string,
but you already know how to play pickleball really well. You just don't play. But yeah, it's nice. Like once you get comfortable stringing, because it's like therapeutic, you know,
kind of
stringing your own racket. Especially if you get like a machine at home. Like I have one at home, and you just put on the tennis channel.
Dude, maybe I should.
If I'm stringing my own, you can have like a glass of vino. And you're just like watching.
Maybe
TV.
I'm like a later in life stringer.
Yeah. Maybe,
let's go.
Michelle MRT. Michelle Racket Technician.
All the rackets are like 330 swing weight plus. Just automatically a customer requests, can I have a 320 swing weight? She goes, no, this is better for you.
She's got like senior players playing.
I know. Dude,
340, 330.
My 1 and 2's got tour rackets in their hands. Let's go.
Yeah.
Shout out. Okay, let's get into the specifics about the strings. How's our audience on YouTube? Anyone
we
saying
have
anything
a good
fun?
amount of people watching it.
Is
Because there
anyone
ain't no
chatting?
holla back, girl.
Well,
Any shout outs? Any comments?
One person is asking, would you prefer E-Zone 98s or Pure Drives 98s?
Pure Drive.
Oh, E-Zone
Pure Drive?
all day.
See, I said Troy is definitely a E-Zone man.
Yeah.
You're a Pure Drive?
Yeah.
Pure Drive gal. All
That
right.
was
E-Zone
easy.
98, Jesse Pagula, eat my heart out. What?
Nothing.
No, Pagula, you know, Curios.
Curious?
Bad boy like Nick Curious.
Nah, man.
You haven't heard that song yet. No, it's a good one.
Yeah, give us more questions.
But E-Zone for sure. I mostly play the Plus and the Tours. The
I
Pluses and the Tours.
have
But
a few.
You have a few questions? Oh yeah.
Not from me, but it's
I was
from...
like, oh, Manish,
But I
got
feel like
you.
the E-Zone, it's not quite as stiff and powerful as a Pure Drive 98, but the power's close, easy power, and then you get all the benefits of the dampening and the comfort and the smooth feel.
I've been hitting the 30th anniversary from
nice.
the Toro line. What's the blue one?
The blue one, I think, is the
Toro,
Super
Toro.
Toro.
Super Toro.
Super Toro is there's a blue one. There's there's another blue one as well. No, that Snapper is purple. See, I've looked into the Toro line so much.
I've been hitting Caviar, Wasabi, and
K-pop.
my favorite so far is just the good all round shape Enzo.
And so
Is that the green one?
I think
It comes in gray and in
green.
pink.
Oh.
A lot of them have the same colors,
Yeah.
just different shape.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways,
Okay, let's hear it.
Well, the first one was, do any of these strings, and I don't think they do, but do any of these two strings notch? And if so, what could they use in the cross to prevent it?
No notching
No
on
notch-
As of now, I
notching.
don't think we have any notching, do we?
Oh.
Ooh.
That's not
Racket abuse, point penalty.
Since we all just strung these up fairly recently,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we would see notching. Well, after the first hour or so, no notching. I cheated a little bit. I'm on the full playtest for Element Soft IR.
Yeah.
I've been hitting it for a bit,
Yeah.
and I am not seeing any notching, like real good snapback.
And that's one thing that was really surprised me because when I played with regular element, not the IR soft, but the kinda
gold one.
The
Bronze.
regular.
Bronze,
Yeah.
that one notched for me a lot. It
Oh, really?
moved, and then after a few sessions, it kind of got sticky, stayed out of place. It was good, but it just didn't have like that really smooth, slick. After a while, it kind of And this one so far has been nice. The IR soft hasn't notched, snaps back well, even though it's soft, has a crisp feel. Whereas the 4G, this one I know for a fact, the 4G, it doesn't notch right away. It will after a long time. Like most strings, I mean RPM, all of them, polys, they notch after like a couple weeks, month if you don't break them. But the one thing I was noticing on the court today, maybe because the tension I string at, but it's slick on the, like when you're stringing it, it's nice and smooth, but it was kind of sticking out of place. Like it kind of has a stickiness to it on the 4G. So, I mean, I was getting good spin.
I see what you're saying.
But it was being a little sticky. So like I almost maybe would prefer this 4G like in a tighter string bed with a really open one. It kind of was sticking a little bit.
That's interesting. You said because you guys have used the 4G a good amount of time. This is not your first time using 4G.
Not our first rodeo with 4G.
Like I used to play with it all the time,
Yeah.
like in tournaments and stuff.
Tell us your story.
Yeah, tell us a story. Did you happen to play anyone?
In this company?
Yeah, I mean, I played a lot of different tournaments, but I remember, one of the tournaments I played in a local tournament, singles tournament, made it to the finals.
Who'd you play?
Played one of the owners, Mark, in the final. Really good match, tight match.
Oh.
Lost, I think, it was best of 3 sets. The third set was a 10-point tiebreaker for the third. And I think it was like, I don't exactly remember. I want to say it was like 10-7. He got me 10-6, maybe 10-8, somewhere around there. But it was a really good weekend.
It was a really good learning experience.
Like Mark's a hell of a player.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah, he didn't
to lose to somebody.
Cal Poly? Did he play with Cal Poly?
Back in the day, yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's
No,
like
he's a great
so
player.
long and tall.
He's got
Yeah.
the wingspan.
Yeah.
And it was just, I mean, a loss is a loss. You lose in the finals, it hurts. But like Mark's such a great guy, and then we got the picture together.
Yeah.
I still have it. It's a little blurry. It's like it was a long time ago, like
That's
probably
cute.
15 years ago. or something.
You're gonna have to dig it out. We'll have to add it.
And then the funny thing is, back then it's just a small little local tournament.
Yeah.
No cash prizes, but like a lot of times we would donate. Mark would donate.
You get a gift
So
card.
we'd get like a T-Dub gift card or a T-Dub bag back. So I was like, all right, sweet, man.
That's cool.
I'll go
Yeah.
buy some new swag.
Nice. Had you ever hit 4G before, Manish? Or is this
No.
your first time? Oh.
4G I have not hit until I came to America.
Oh.
To T-Dub, technically.
You hadn't hit what?
4G.
4G.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's like a
Since coming to
millennial
America?
string.
I know. It's really nice. I put it in my my blades, my V6 blades when I first got here, and it's really nice. I really liked the control, but at that time I was swinging like super, like 320 swing weights, so that got to me a little bit, on the shoulder.
like the weight of the racket being a little light, plus the string so stiff. Is
Yeah.
what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what string were you using when you first came here? Like, what was your kind of go-to back then? Did you have any
back
favorite?
home?
Just like, when you first got here, like, what was your setup?
Yeah, there was this old Wilson one.
I was gonna say Wilson Sensation.
Well, Wilson Poly,
Wilson Poly.
like a revolve
Oh,
or rip,
oh
rip
no!
spin,
Wait, what
rip
was
spin.
this? Yeah.
I don't think it was the Revolve. It was like an old one. I
What
don't
was
think
Enduro,
I have
before
it.
Enduro?
Revolve?
Something like
way
that.
back in the early 2000s, there was an Enduro
Okay.
Tour.
Yeah.
Then it became like the rip spin and the
Rip,
revolve.
yeah.
There was a couple other ones.
Revolve was like a cult following.
Yeah.
People loved it.
Well, it was really marketed well by Wilson because it came along with their
the
spin effect
Yep.
Yeah.
rackets, and also with the spin effect rackets. If you guys remember those, the string patterns were really open, like
Really. And
16
Juice.
by 15.
the strings
There was
just
some that were
broke
18 by
constantly.
16, and then there was even like an 18-17, I want to say, in the Pro Staff
Yeah.
97S. But if you recall, they used to have, I don't think we still carry it, but there used to be a 4G 141.
Oh my
It was a
gosh.
15 gauge or 15 light
Dang.
for those rackets because those rackets broke string so fast.
Yeah.
I remember my mate from Fiji. We call him Machri because it's fish. It means fish. He used to have the BLX juice. Isn't that something that's a lot of the pros are still using? The juice.
Juice, yeah, I think Azarenka was a
Azarenka,
juice
yeah.
He used
user.
to break strings all the time. And we thought he was such a big hitter, and like he used to smack so big. That's why all the strings are breaking.
But it was the string
Now I
pattern.
realize he wasn't doing anything. It was the racket.
Jay used to have that Steam 99 S,
S,
and
yeah.
it would be like every time he hit, he'd break at least one string.
Yeah.
It would be like,
and like the combination of the two, Jay, on
Jay
his
hits a
forehand, a
lot of
lot of spin, a lot of
RPMs,
racket
yeah.
speed on his forehand. So
it's funny. Okay, let's break down some of the categories that we usually judge strings in, and then we can talk about both in the same category. Let's just start with control and power. I know those are two very different things, and I think one of these strings does one really well and the other does the other, but where do you want to go with this? Control. Let's go control. Yeah.
All those in favor?
Control.
All
Control,
those
yeah,
opposed.
control. It's got to be this, no?
I'm just going to go, I'll give my 2 cents real quick. Control, the 4G, as I said on the court when we were hitting, is it's so fun because you can swing as big as you want and somehow the ball still stays in the court. But I shouldn't say you, I had to work for it. So it's not like an easy, like, light swing. You're like leveraging your weight, making sure the weight transfer's there. Like it's taking a lot of effort for me. But it's fun to hit out. And then
What tension did you say you put it at?
I think it was like 55, 56.
Okay.
Yeah. It's board. My racket feels like a board,
Yeah.
but I like that.
Yeah.
And then as J-Dub and I talk about this sometimes in string reviews, is that gives me confidence to hit out more. So then sometimes I'll reward a string like this and say that it offers me the access to power. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like it's the power you're supplying. It gives you the freedom to generate more racket speed.
Because if I swung as hard as I did with the 4G on the one that got element soft, the ball's going to the back fence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the concept I think me and Chris have talked about, like analogies and stuff. He's a big car guy.
Yeah.
It's like if you put a huge engine inside a little tiny car frame with no handling or suspension, like yes, you can get the engine to drive that car 150 miles an hour, but you can't keep it on the road. You can't
Yeah.
take a turn. It's not functional power, and that's the way strings and rackets are sometimes. Whereas like what you're saying, it's like it's a really low powered, but in the end, the outcome is a lot of ball speed because you're just wailing
You
on
can
it.
hit out.
You're
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
Bob
which I
Marley and the
like.
Wailers. You're wailing.
This can be applied. I'm speaking to the viewers at this point. This can be applied if you're a 2.5 and you buy RF97 with Wilson Champions Choice in it. Doesn't mean that you're going to be hitting one-handers like Fed.
Who are you talking to?
He's just
talking
reminding.
to
It's
the
a mirror
people.
message.
Because I've talked
He's
to
reminding
to
himself.
like a lot of customers back in the CSR days where, I mean,
Well,
I think
good
I
thing you
have
can't buy an RF right now.
Well, true. I have an Eastern forehand and a one-hander backhand. I think it's kind of like Fed, but so I was just thinking of getting the RF97, and I saw the girl on YouTube, Michelle.
Oh no!
She plays with it. I'm like-
If a girl can swing it, anyone can.
Yeah,
And do you
I-
think these people are
pisses me off.
seriously calling you, or do you think they're just kind of like, oh, I got time to burn, I'm gonna troll this racket expert?
no, there was I think there might have been.
I
A few
feel like
of those
Troy's
as
prank
well.
called before.
Nope, not me, not I.
And then power coming from the element soft. So for me, it's kind of like I keep going back and forth. I'm like, I don't want to like have to work so hard all the time, every single time I'm on the court. So I appreciated that. But what about you guys?
No,
Keeping you
you're
on
right
task.
about the element. Honestly, it does give you a lot of power because even at 55 pounds
and a tighter string
and
pattern.
18, 19, but then again it's 100, so I guess it's 100 square inches, so it's a bit more
But yeah, just think about
pushy.
like put the racket aside and just what you felt on the string bed.
it's giving me a good amount of power, give me a good amount of power. And then again, like one thing that threw me off was this its spin. It has a good bite on it. I'm able to like and I hit somewhat flat, and I'm still able to like give it a good what's the word for it, man?
Arc?
There you go.
Troy and I.
Yeah, and we'll dive deeper into spin.
Yeah.
coming up.
Hold off on
But
the
yeah,
spin because
I
I
see
want
what
to
you're
go
saying.
deeper into the spin.
Yeah.
Control.
Control.
You're talking
Talk about control and power.
Control, I think it was good on both of them. I definitely prefer the 4G. Like you said, I think you are like a 5 and I'm a 1, but we both hit very similar. But like you hit flatter and bigger, but we hit very similar. We both hit a good
You
amount
like to
of
hit
flat.
fat big too, yeah.
And that's so nice to
Yeah.
do. But again, you have to put a little bit more effort into the 4G.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's so nice.
It's so
dude.
nice.
It's
I
so
know,
it's
it's
just
so
so nice
nice.
to swing free.
Yeah. I
It's
agree.
Just hit big.
Yeah.
It goes in.
Yeah.
Are we going
Troy?
to talk about like a whole feel section? Is there a
Yeah,
feel?
we are.
Okay. 'Cause
We're
I
gonna
like to
get it.
I like to get in the feels.
We're gonna get into our feelings.
You
We
get
could
in
put
the
on.
feels?
We could put on some Rufus and.
Oh my gosh, they were supposed to release a song today or a whole album possibly.
All
Anyways,
the feels.
Jose, if you're listening or watching, that's
All
great.
the
All the feels. Okay, get us through your control and power, and
So
then
just
we'll
just
talk
straight
about
up
spin
control and power.
feels.
Yes, obviously the 4G felt lower powered, more control, deader.
Deader.
Not in a bad way. We say that a lot though,
No.
like deader. We don't mean it's like a bad thing. We just mean it's lack of energy return, lack of life in the string. you
Lack
know?
of elasticity.
Yeah, it's like after like an hour of hitting with Michelle and like you're dead
just
tired.
dead.
You're just like,
It even reminds you why you don't want him.
but yeah, lots of control. I'll get deeper into the feel, but I was actually surprised. The ball actually, and when it's fresh and the tension I had it pocket well. So the ball dug in, like I could feel the 4G pocketing the ball, the kind of cupping effect. But the result wasn't like natural gut or like some of those soft strings where it shoots it back out. It's like a nice pocket, but then the ball doesn't come off like hot. Lots of control. So, you really can hit hard and flat. This one here definitely gave me a bit more energy return, had some decent pocketing, and we'll get deeper in on the feel. But I actually was surprised for the softer string in Luxilon's range. Not necessarily saying it's the softest poly in the world, but it felt nice and crisp. And it was giving me that pocket. Shot the ball back out with a little more zip, zing, zilch, pop, punch.
It was proper.
Proper.
Proper. But yeah, so when it came to that, and the fresh tension, I don't know over time how my feelings will change, but I liked the little bit of extra power I was getting from the IR soft, and it wasn't too hard to control.
Nice.
So power control, obviously one was more than the other, but I like the element.
I think this is a good segue because I have Philip here. He was wanting to ask us what type of poly best complements flexible frames, if that is even a thing. More rounded, shaped, because he mentioned he has a classic, the UTech IG Radical Pro.
Okay, I've hit with that racket.
Yeah. So he was just asking what type of poly best complements a racket that is flexible. Was the Radical Pro flexible back when the UTech IG days?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yep, it had the IG, had the cap grommet, the clear cap grommet, had a higher swing weight. That one, open pattern. That one was pretty lively, even though it was soft. I remember that one having a good amount of energy return because of the string spacing. But that particular racket, I think 4G worked well because the racket was so soft.
Yeah, it's it counterbalances.
Like a 4G or 4G soft. As long as you don't have any history of arm issues, I'd probably stay away from a full bed of that.
Yeah.
But that would be a good one. You could go shape string. But I think either of these would work depending on like how much extra power you want to go with. But I like, a control string in there, 4G. I know we're talking about Luxilon today, but like if we wanted to get into the head racket, like the Lynx Tour would be nice.
Is there a correlation between the flexibility of a racket to its to the string stiffness in order to get more power?
I think it's more personal preference and also altering the tension as well, working with the tensions. But there is a certain, if you really get into the science of it, that could be a whole nother deep dive. But Chris talked
We're trying to get Crawford back on the podcast,
Yeah.
just saying.
That'd be sick.
But like,
so there's a great topic.
That'd be
But
sick.
I think it's really when you get like extreme differences in tension and stuff like that. Because Chris was talking about when he did his low tension experiment.
Oh
he
yeah,
got
there's
down to
like that
20
fuzzy,
pounds and then like
there's
15.
a weird,
And there's this weird connection at a certain point
Yeah.
where like the racket frequency vibrations and the string at a low tension, they align and it makes the racket really hard to play. but I'm talking like under 20 pounds.
Yeah.
Which also, this has nothing really to do with that, but it triggered my thoughts. The next one of these that we might do could be a high tension, low tension, like super low tension and super high tension test.
So it's going to be a string that we already know.
So it's going to be a string that we already know and rackets that we use. And then this is a J-Dub idea. There's like so many fun ideas.
There's so many cool things.
And then like anyone watching or listening can do it along with us. So we'll let you know what we're going to do. And then you can jump in and chat with us. So it could be fun.
But yeah, just to follow, what was the Philip. Yeah, a good control string. If you don't have any arm issues, I'd go, 4G soft could be fun. Just don't string them too tight. But if you want a little more juice out of your racket, you could go with something like the IR Soft, or I remember playing that racket way back in the day and trying a couple hybrids. So you could even go, Wilson Duo Power. You could go head. You could go like Hawk Power or Hawk Touch in the mains with like a velocity. If you want to get a little more power out of the racket.
There you go.
So
nice.
Something to think about. I don't know what he usually plays with, but
cool. Should we talk about spin real quick?
Yeah, I've given.
You already talked about spin.
I've given my take on it. I love the element.
How much spin, but is this a shape string?
Element? Yeah, I think so. Let me look it up.
I don't. Yeah, look it up.
The original element didn't have like edges.
And then I was gonna say, but the snapback is very noticeable to me, or I might just be.
It's snapping back good for you.
It's snapping back well for me. It's a proper snapback.
But Manish, just real quick. So I know you like the spin of the element.
Yes, sir.
Good. Grab on the ball, snap back. What do you think of the 4G spin? Like, was it bad, or was it just a little bit less than the?
Definitely not bad. You still get a good amount of spin from it because it's. Is it safe to say that 4G is kind of slick? Because I feel like
it is. It's slick and round, but like I said, it kind of has. Once you start playing with it, it kind of has this stickiness to it a little bit, where you can see it kind of, and maybe it's just a lower tension, but yeah.
I kind of felt that. Yeah, I kind of felt that.
And then like the pocketing also helps with spin production, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The longer it sits on there, the more you can usually manipulate it. Usually.
Literally.
Yeah. But like, how would you say some of these strings compare to some of the shape polys that you played, like Hyper G or Wasabi or some of those?
So the element definitely gave me a lot more spin, but 4G
more spin than like a Hyper G or a Wasabi or Ultra Cables?
No, because I hit a bit. I don't hit a whole lot of that.
K-pop?
I know. I need my string. I don't have my laptop, so I need the string comparison tool. I love that thing where I'm always looking up.
So like some of the highest rated ones on the database, I remember were like Ultra Cable
for
Vocal,
sure.
V Square,
Yeah.
Black Code 4S or just 4S Technofiber, the square shaped strings.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, no, definitely. The element I would say I would put up there along with my Hyper G and the Cyclones.
Oh my god.
Well, what about you, Troy? You don't think so? Let's fight
Yeah.
it. Debate
Not the
it.
4G,
Fight
though.
me. Michelle's not sassy today, but fight me.
When it came to spin, I like both. But I was pleasantly surprised on the Element IR Soft. I don't think it has shaped edges to it. I might be wrong. Maybe it does. I don't know if it's a four.
Doesn't say so.
I thought it was more of a round, but it did grab. It pocketed. It sat in there, and it has that crispness to it. That Luxilon crispness. Even when they're soft, they still have this crisp feel. And I think it's the additives they use. Like Alu Power has aluminum. Luxilon has this really like proprietary blend stuff that they do, and they don't even really dispose or talk about it a lot in their factory in Belgium. It's pretty special.
That are making honey.
But I got really good spin. I think I like the spin actually a little bit more with this than the 4G. So both good.
Yeah.
This one better. But as far as like some of those really shaped stuff out there, I know Wilson has the Revolve spin. That one bites good. To me, like Tour bites hard to beat. The Ultra Cables, the V Squares. I like the feel of this better, but some of those shaped ones do give me that added
spin.
Would you? What was I going to say? Would you compare this to the Politour Pro, the Element?
Ooh, that's
they're both comfortable.
like-
They both
Politour Pro,
pocket well. They both have decent energy return, but definitely different feels.
I'm curious to see how this. Well, I kind of seen it play out a little bit, but I'm curious how you guys like it in a week. Because I'm curious to see the playability
true.
duration.
Yeah.
Durability.
Still very
Playability,
fresh.
durability. Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Just I'm curious because poly.
Right.
Whippability.
Right? It's like when someone like meets one of your siblings and they're like, "Oh, I really like them," but I'm like, "Oh yeah,
What's
tell me
wrong
how many much you like them after a week
Oh yeah.
or like a month."
Spend
you
a
know?
week over it. See
Yeah.
how it works out.
That's how it is with me. How many like
That's what my mom used to say.
people are like, "Oh yeah,"
about me.
and then the more you hang out with me, the more annoying it gets.
Oh, you? No, just yeah.
Anyways, yeah, we're talking about.
Well, because I was gonna say this is probably an unpopular opinion, but Polytour Pro for me gets so trampoline-y, springy, like it's just like
Boing.
boing, yeah, boing right after like a week, I would say.
And how did you think about this IR? Because you've been hitting it for a little bit.
Yeah, that's I
It's better
actually
in that
gave
sense?
you my racket to see what you were if you felt. I do feel like it is starting to it's not bag out, but it is getting a little bit of that trampoline effect for
Right.
me
Okay.
personally.
So
That's
it's
why I
not-
was curious what you thought.
I've used this
But-
one before. It's
no.
not quite Marco's bagged out is. They've heard that one so many times. But yes, it starts to get a little springy,
For me,
little trampoline-y.
a little trampoline. But like
Yeah.
right now it's like I can control the trampoline.
The tramp.
The trampoline. It feels for someone that which this can be a great transition into feel.
Okay. You're doing the you know who we're talking about. The Myrna test.
The what?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
But we can transition into feel because this is a good way to transition.
But we were talking
into
about
feel.
spin, right?
We were talking about
Did you
spin.
have any
I
clear-cut
never
winner?
I'm like not the best. Okay, tons.
Are
more
you just
spin with
ruling
us.
yourself out of that
Yeah,
category?
I'm like I shouldn't even. Like on the shoe test, like the toe durability one, and like for a minute, like it was like, oh, if you're not a toe dragger, you don't have to score this section. That's how I feel. With
I always
spin.
still write a sentence
I do
for that.
too. I do too. I do
Okay,
too.
so you're just like, that's not me, dog.
That's not me. Like,
Yeah.
if you want to know about spin, don't ask Michelle.
Okay.
No,
That's fair.
but I will say, because hitting against both of you guys who have more spin, I wanted to bring this up. Yes, I felt like I'm arcing more the ball. Arcing more. There's more arc to my ball, but also that kind of plays into the fact that I'm not mashing through the ball as hard with the 4G. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to control the ball more with the element because I know that if I go big and flat.
So you're intentionally shaping the
I'm
ball
intentionally
more
shaping
with
the ball
IR.
more with the IR.
And the 4G, you're just trying to whack-a-mole.
Yes.
Okay.
However, when we were hitting just now, and you went from the element to the 4G, I know like we weren't playing like all out points or anything, but the depth
Yes.
was very obvious. You were getting so much more depth and spin with the element IR soft.
I know. Damn.
What? Do we know what the IR stands for?
Infrared?
I thought it was. I
Wait.
looked it up. It's not true.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait, what did you say it was earlier?
Iridescent? or-
Iridescent red.
Is that what it is?
Earlier, I was joking. I was like, you're irritating me.
Wait, that's IM.
Because the
What?
Irritating me?
Just irritating.
Oh.
one Sergio said
Sergio, we don't know. I asked.
he
Wait, what do you
goes
say?
on to say that do you think there's a blade V9
Oh.
regular 1619 with Technofiber 4S is a good combination?
It's a good combo, but Luxilon wants you to
And-
get that in there.
And then I wanted to ask, because there's so many strings out there, and the way they name their strings usually are so like different, like the naming of strings, I don't know, like how they come about it, but like,
Okay.
what's people were asking, what's the relationship between 4S and 4G? Nothing.
Not.
Well, yeah,
are
I'm
they
not
both-
sure.
yeah.
I'm not. 4S is 4 sides.
Do we know what 4G stands for?
Not 100% sure.
Gravity, 5G, 4G, gravity.
Maybe. But I know 4S is the 4 sides.
Yeah,
Oh,
4S
okay.
is 4 sides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
But 4G is round.
Yeah.
yeah, so I wonder how they name their strings. I wonder,
That's
like,
a good question.
like they see something.
ALU power.
A-
well, that
ALU
goes
has
into the
aluminum.
adamant.
It has aluminum
atom,
fibers. Yeah.
Whatever film or anyways, words that I don't know.
Like, element is a sick name.
It is. All right.
Calling a string at I use the element.
It's also a Honda square shaped crossover kind of car, right? Or it's,
Oh
is
yeah,
it
that is a car. The Honda Element. Yeah.
I would love to know how brands go about naming their strings, because it is pretty interesting. And like some of them are really cool, and some of them are hard to remember, and some of them get very confusing.
I should say we as a team, or Jason mostly came up with the final idea, but we named the Signum Pro Yellow Jacket.
Oh yeah,
Well, that was ours. We partnered with
Signum Pro.
the Yellow Jacket.
the James White, was that? No, that was the
No,
name
that
of
was
it.
the JB.
Yeah, JV tour. No, did I just make that
Mr.
up?
JB, sir.
Yeah. Anyway,
James Blake. Yeah.
Is that still on the market?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think we have. That was laser fiber, right? I don't know if we have too much laser fiber still around, but there was like the JB, James Blake, JB Tour 100 or
Who
something
loves
like
a
that.
tight tension?
Yeah.
Loves it, even still. Okay.
68, 67.
Heck yeah.
I'm going to
You're coming
going back
up.
to the feel.
Oh yes.
aspect.
Thank you, Manish, for keeping
going
us
back
on
to
track.
the feel thing. I've started going up in tension.
Yeah, you did.
As well.
Team high tension.
Yeah, it's just nice. I don't like.
We had
I don't
a little.
like feelings.
We had a. Thank you.
We don't like feelings.
Welcome to the team.
Yeah, so we go high.
The most emotional people.
Yeah, we don't
We
like
don't want
feelings
feelings out of
up
our
in
racket.
here. So what do you,
Was it popping off, Troy? Is he like?
there's a good amount of people here, but yeah, there's a good amount of people here. Nah, because so I've been going higher in tension, but in that aspect, I would prefer.
And
the
you
4G.
reference.
Are we talking about feel now?
We're
Are
talking
we in a
about-
new category?
We in our fields.
Okay.
But we're
Troy
saying we don't
likes
want
to
them.
talk about his feels. Manisha and Michelle keep it locked up.
I don't like feels.
Unless we're letting it all out. There's neither black or white. There's no in betweens. There's no gray with our emotions.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right.
Hey. What?
You know where you stand with the two of us. We're either
Why
happy or mad.
What are you doing?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. There's no gray. Like
Gotcha.
Anyways, Troy, lead us.
Extremes. The
Yeah,
feel?
Yeah, lead
Okay.
us in feelings.
So, just kind of what I touched on.
do you know what
earlier.
number you are on the Enneagram? Sorry, side note.
Anagram?
Okay, we'll have to do an Enneagram test.
Oh yeah, okay.
I heard there was a department that did it, and it's interesting. I think Manish is probably closer to my number than.
All I know is Gemini season, baby. So, the stiffer string, obviously firmer, a bit softer. But I was surprised that the stiffer string 4G actually, like I said earlier, pocketed really well. Kind of had this plushness to it, even though it's very, very stiff. It kind of had this plush side to it, like it's like someone that's really, really, you think they're tough, but they have this soft side. It's stiff, firm, pockets well, has a plush side to it.
Is that? Are you talking about
That's
yourself?
why you like it.
No, I'm not expressing myself through the string, okay? Stiff, firm.
That's why we
But it
like
has
it.
this little bit of plush side to it and nice pocketing. But like I said earlier, it pockets, but it doesn't spit the ball out with a lot of power. It pockets and it just kind of dead. Pocket, dead. This one, I really liked it because for soft strings, usually the case, the stereotype is that they're really mushy. They Marco Spagdautis really fast. But this one's soft, pockets, power, but it has this crisp side to it. So it's a softie. Everybody knows that this string is a softie, but it's got that little hard chip on its shoulder, a little crisp.
The Troy of Luxilons.
Shut your mouth. You don't know me, bro. But it is.
If
It's got a nice
Element
crisp.
Soft were a player, who would it be?
It's so pretty. But it does. It has. So
It's giving
they both surprised me. I knew what I was getting into on both of them, kind of. But being soft, man, I really like this because it's soft. Gives you those benefits of the pocket, the power, but it's still crisp. It doesn't feel mushy yet.
Yeah,
I got to keep playing it, but it doesn't feel mushy. It's got a nice crispness to it. So feel wise, I didn't hate either of them. Not mad at you guys, but man, IR soft.
IR soft.
You wanna show the
So
stencil because I didn't know what the stencil was.
Yes, we talked about this on court.
The stencil, yeah.
We got the
That's a sick stencil.
the Luxilon stencil for you kids out there. Back in the day, you'd see like the Wilson logo with the Luxilon down below.
Does anyone on tour use a Luxilon stencil anymore?
Not
don't think
many.
so.
I think I want to say like there was a doubles guy or someone that was
Yeah.
still putting the Lux stencil on there.
Interesting.
It's not really used much anymore, but
Yeah.
like I pulled up images online as I was doing it to make sure I was like, okay,
Got it
is
the
it
right
right?
direction.
And there was an old picture of Andrea Seppi
Oh, no.
when he was with Head, and there was the Head logo and the Luxilon down here.
And it's like always 1 degree of Roger Federer. Remember when he beat Roger Federer?
Seppi, was it Seppi?
Seppi?
Yeah,
I
wasn't
think
it?
so, right?
Wasn't
Was it
on-
what slam was it? The Aussie or was it Wimbledon? Or
I want to say it was Wimbledon, but I can't remember. Do a
Yeah,
quick
yeah.
Google. Put Seppi and Federer, please. Sorry. Right? Or am I making this
There was
up?
an-
Maybe it
another-
was Australian. Maybe it wasn't even. Maybe it was a grass warm up.
upsets the Swiss star
In Melbourne. Wait,
But yes, I do remember that.
5 sets.
Yeah. Sorry. 1 degree of Roger Federer.
Yeah, but then Fed has won like 14 times. against
14,
him.
they're 14-1.
14 and
Yeah.
Well, I remember that one more than I remember
Yeah.
the 14.
yeah, he's beaten him for a while, and then in Aussie 2015, Seppi took him 4 sets.
But back to the fields. Did you talk about
Sorry.
the fields,
Oh, no.
Michelle? You skipped spin. You cannot
I did
skip the
Oh, I
fields.
can't skip feels.
This is therapy. Let your feels out.
This is tennis player therapy.
I know.
This is great.
Let us know
It's
about
funny.
your Arthur feels.
Oh, my gosh.
It's so proper.
Other feels. Dude, that guy's storming through the tour. Have you seen that? She doesn't. She's regretting bringing us here.
Hashtag dad joke.
Oh, my gosh.
I got more.
I know. Good thing it's Father's Day. Everyone get your pen and papers out because Troy's got the dad jokes.
The Baghdadis is good.
Feels. This feels like a board, period.
Is it Bjorn board? Bjorn board? Oh, sorry. That was stupid, huh?
It feels firm. It feels, there's not a lot of feel. Just how I like my rackets, my setup. Not a lot of feel. It goes exactly where I tell it to go. It does exactly what I want it to do.
Swing big.
Can swing big. Close your eyes. Get
Don't.
the.
How was it on drop shots? Michelle's like,
Oh.
I didn't hit any today.
No, you know what? Right? I didn't. Although yesterday I was hitting element, soft, IR, whichever direction the IR goes in.
But this color, like, isn't it a good
It's
color?
a good color. I do like it. Dude, I was like, I have all the feel. And I went for a dropper and it was like that close to going in and it hit the net. And then I reminded myself why I don't hit drop shots. Because I have no feel. Hands of steel and a string that has nice feel, pocketing, all you feel connected to the ball, all that, still doesn't always work. So why not just go with what you know?
Yeah.
Stick with the no feels.
Stick to the status quo.
And-
Have you seen High School Musical?
No, I'm too old.
Troy Bolton?
Have you seen? Yeah,
Yeah, Zac Efron. Shout out Zac Efron. Rio Grande,
Yeah.
California.
a local
Just
boy.
about 20 minutes away.
away.
Yeah.
Real quick,
No.
though, sorry,
Sorry.
before we get on in the High School Musical.
Sorry. Yeah.
Des, our T-Dub player, wasn't she using
She
regular
uses
element?
Yeah,
Has she tried the IR?
I actually think she should.
She needs to.
Yeah.
Des,
And
lefty player, lots of spin.
shout out
Big
Des,
forehand.
who made it to the finals of the French Open in
Yeah.
mixed and lost in the semis of women's doubles. So she was playing with Caroline Dolhide and Skupski,
Yeah.
which they have. Skupski and Des, I think, have won a French Open or two together. So they're a good team. But yeah, she is obviously in Europe right now. They'll do the grass season and then back. Well, she'll probably be back and then U.S. hardcourt. So would be a good time for her to try it. She definitely loves element and will not go away from it. 125
And uses it in a pure arrow.
uses it in a pure arrow. So next shipment, we'll just have to slide some of this in. She might like it. Yeah, I think it's tough. Some of these players, it's hard for them to change things up.
Yeah.
I even
I mean,
asked
look
her
at
about.
Juju.
Yeah.
She's been using the Hurricane.
Oh my gosh.
The
yeah.
Yellow Hurricane Tour since juniors.
Even just asking them to try a different gauge, it's kind of like, I don't even know if they know why they like it, but it's like, you don't change anything.
But especially they have them, like when they're at the top, you
Yeah.
know, of the rankings in doubles. It's like,
It's crazy.
yeah.
But for sure, we'll see if she can make the switch. What other strings would you compare this one to, Element IR Soft? I know the Polytour Pro. I thought that was
Yeah, I would say Polytour Pro, like in the overall performance characteristics, but the feel to me is different.
What about Polytour Air? Isn't that supposed to be the softest Yonex?
Yeah. That one was a little deader to me though, even though it's soft. Felt a little bit deader.
Let's see.
There's a Kirschbaum that I go back to, and it's a little different feel as well, but it's one that hardly ever gets talked about. I think I'm the only one that usually ever brings it up, but it's called the Explosive Speed. It's a black poly, and it's soft. It's powerful. That one I say is a little bit more muted, a little more, maybe a little more plush, but they both are soft, and they're both got some good energy return.
Nice.
Would you say, because this is what I was thinking, so do correct me if I'm wrong, but would you say the Element is a kind of Lynx touchy-ish?
I haven't played with it in a minute.
Maybe as far as like both being comfortable and a decent energy return, but Lynx Touch has a very, very different feel.
Like a little more muted?
Yeah. Lynx Touch is a weird string. Not weird.
Oh, sorry.
It's unique. And it's very much the same as this old Prince string called the Warrior Response, which I think we had on the website for like $5. It was like super cheap.
Yeah.
But it's a two layered string. Yeah. So it's like it's a monofilament basically, but like 2 layers.
It's extruded.
There's a core that's like black and then the outer's
red,
like
right?
Clear.
Oh, just kidding.
It's like a clear, so it looks gray. Like Lynx Touch looks gray because it's black with like a clear coat. So it's basically like a monofilament that has like a soft layer and a firm layer. So it just feels very much different. But conceptually, I wouldn't say that's crazy different.
Yeah.
You weren't completely wrong.
It's kind of the Tri-X vibe, maybe. Oh, anyways.
What were you gonna say? What were you gonna say, Manish? It doesn't matter, jabroni.
Not making me the Rock. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
What you think is soft.
Yeah. Sorry.
But we're going to wrap up the string chat and then we'll answer a few more of the questions. But if you guys are going to pick one moving forward that like you only have access to one string for the rest of your life, what are you choosing?
Access to string, access to spin, access to power.
If you just want a bit more control, just go high intention. Element?
Yeah, there's no wrong answer. You tell me.
After
what are you
just initial, just because I've only...
Yeah, after today's hit.
Oh, that's tough because I spent many years with 4G. Like, we had a history.
Well, I know.
And I'm just going to dump 4G for this new hot fling. But after today, IR, man, IR was pretty...
She's fancy and bright.
So I wanted to ask you two guys. Before we finish like the string talk, I wanted to ask if you had to describe yourself as a Luxilon string, what string would you be?
M2 Pro. Oh, you didn't know. How about what was the old one? 5-star or star 5? It was like a blue. Anyway, that's old school, old soul.
What are the characteristics of those strings?
Chris Edwards. I'll represent for Chris. He said Lux Original. He's an original.
Oh yeah, he's big
original
banger.
Gangster.
The big banger, yeah.
Just hard control.
I like never have been like a Luxilon
You're not
girly.
a Lux girl.
Really?
But like the ones you've tried.
Oh, I know, Savage.
Oh wow.
Savage.
I will say smart.
Oh, you think
I'm Luxilon smart?
No, but I will
She's
say because Chris and I did we did the head-to-head ALU of it against Savage playtest.
Yeah. That was a cool one.
I kind of always joke. I'm like, ugh, ALU. Like, I don't even know why everyone likes this. And then I hit it fresh off the stringer, and I was like, this is why everyone likes this.
It's a good string. I don't know. A lot of people bag on it online as well. That ALU is a great string.
Well, it's just because, I mean...
It's expensive.
It's a price point thing.
Oh,
it's true, they look at it like, oh, why would I spend my money on it? And I get the argument. There's a lot of polys out there, a lot of good ones that are cheap. But like me and Chris were talking, and after you guys did the Luxilon, the Savage versus ALU, if you were getting both of them, just handed to you, blind tested.
And
it's a no-brainer.
But also, if you're not paying and you're getting race strings all the time, that also is a no-brainer.
Yes.
Like, But we're real life people, and like we have access to a lot of stuff, so we're a little spoiled.
But yeah, I don't know. If I had to pick a Luxilon string, I'd probably pick something mysterious.
You'd pick one of the colors that like just came out, like the green,
the forest green
the
one.
Forest green.
Ooh, that was a sick one.
And the element like sand.
Or maybe the string they discontinued, the Thomas Burdett string.
Which one?
Alu Power Fluoro.
Yeah.
Oh, the floral.
because I'm flourishing.
Oh yeah, and then they have the.
Yeah, right.
Yikes! Oh my gosh.
She regrets
I'm
bringing
just
us.
like, I know,
These two.
Yeah. What do we got?
Oh, did we not get a category?
Yeah, pick your string of choice moving forward. You have two choices. Make a choice.
Forever, ever and ever. If you had to choose.
Allegedly, yeah, not allegedly. Hypothetically is the word I was looking for. Hypothetically, I will answer first. Michelle is going with 4G all day, every day. Let's go. What do you got? Who wants to go?
I think I'm taking a risk. I never do, but
Try
after
something
today,
new.
It played well. I think you're gonna hold up. I think this is gonna work out, and I think I would just get the tension right, you know. And it's a fun color. It takes well to a stencil.
It looks good. Manish?
Hybrid.
Oh, hybrid.
That'd be sick. We should
We're
try
gonna
this.
try that. Yeah,
we definitely
we'll
need to
try
try
that.
this because,
Hybrid.
I mean,
I think it'd be a good hybrid.
I know I can string the element in any of my rackets, and I can work well with it. Like I would.
Oh,
not
so you're like
put-
the opposite. You're like element works for you,
Yeah.
and you're taking a risk by going with 4G.
He didn't.
See, the
he
4G
didn't
I would
grab
never
the
put in
4G
my
though.
RF.
Oh.
But you don't even play with
Shots fired.
RFs. It's just you just have 14 of them, and it just makes you just want to say like, oh, I have 14, but you don't even play with them.
I play with them.
No, just kidding.
Do you even RF?
No, but anyways.
Yeah.
No, I would say I would go maybe element, honestly.
No, that's
Yeah,
good.
high tension just to get the control in that the 4G already gives you. But yeah, I would say element.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you have any more fun questions for us? We have
Yeah.
a few more minutes that we can banter.
Banta.
I don't know what that means. I mean, I do know what that means, but I don't know what that accent is.
Oh, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Dependent on the, which I think we have answered this before, but dependent on the string pattern that a racket has, along with the head size, how would you change
your tension.
Of course, it will depend on the string.
And something we talked about during like other podcasts is like the gauge,
Yeah.
because like Alu Power, we have gauges all the way from like, I want to say we have like a 15L, or we used to.
Yeah. Well, and even like the Slingo,
Like a
the Hyper G
135
is like
or-
super thick. That goes all the way to 19, right? Yeah.
So I know for sure. I know they're asking about tension, and what are they saying? Tension?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
what tension?
How would you change
in relation
it?
to the head size?
So
and
like
string
if you're
pattern?
going tighter.
I definitely adjust. Like
Yeah.
if I'm playing with the 6195,
I was gonna say we talked about that. in that pod
1820,
too.
you know,
Yeah.
like I'm down, especially if I put like, that's why I was a little hesitant to put 4G in there.
Yeah. Sorry.
I would probably be down like in the low 40s, like
Yeah.
low. But if I'm playing with the Blade 100 or, 100 head size, open pattern, or even crazy, Blade 104, something like that, I'm going like, I could put 4G in that at like closer to 50, 52, 53.
Yeah.
In a 104, I could probably go up to 55.
Mm-hmm.
And then the difference, like I said, between the 4G and the Element, I'm going probably a couple pounds tighter with the Element in general, and correlating that to the head size and the pattern.
There's actually a racket that we're testing that I really want to crank up the tension on. It's really bothering me.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know what strings in it right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
You're
right.
both on the play test.
Oh, okay. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
But
Also just for the viewers, the because we mentioned gauge, the Element IR Soft is 1.27 and the 4G we used is 1.25.
Yes.
Just wanted to let folks know.
0.02 difference.
Yeah,
But I didn't even really notice.
doesn't
that.
make a difference.
But maybe it did help, with the crisper, like I talked about it, the IR having a soft feel but crisp.
one day I just we totally want to do blind tastings.
I'm down.
Not wine
Blind
time yet.
tasting? Let's go.
I do love
After
a blind.
after we're done recording, let's go.
I do love a blind tasting, but
Double blind study.
I want to just one day
That'd be
put
interesting.
a really thin string in someone's racket and a really thick string and see if they even notice.
There was this guy. I'm not gonna. I know his name, but I'm not gonna say it. Who used to call in on the CSR floor, and we recommend string for him. And he wanted spin. I want spin. I want proper spit. I want spin.
Mm-hmm.
And so we used to tell him there's so many other strings that you can use that thinner gauges and all that. He goes, yeah, but I can't use anything that's thinner than 125.
Then go This is J-Dub's. J-Dub hasn't said this for a minute. Take a listen.
For more racket head speed, I don't know. Just hit more spin, man.
Any other fun questions?
Yeah.
We're gonna get kicked out of this room in a few minutes,
Yeah, no,
so we're gonna have to wrap it.
I think we are good on the
No more
questions
questions?
here.
No more questions.
We have.
Oh,
We can say bye to our live folks as well.
thanks for joining us on the live. And if you guys liked this, let us know, and hopefully we'll do more of these. And if you want to play test alongside with us, we can give you guys what we're going to play test, and then you can jump in and chat with us. Maybe there's been discussions, like I said, tight versus tight, high tension versus low tension, small head size versus big head size, classic racket versus modern racket.
Dry over grip versus tacky over grip.
Keep it going. Speed shoes versus stable shoes.
Yep. No show socks versus crew socks. Alternate
Short
players are like,
shorts
don't
versus
wear.
long shorts.
Oh yeah.
Always 9-inch
7?
inseams, and that's it.
Oh,
Bandana versus hat.
Backwards hat.
Headband like Sebastian
Headband,
Corda.
or head tie, Roger or Rafa.
12-pack or 6-pack or backpack or duffel.
We got ideas. We got thoughts.
This is a good combo.
But also like a lot more string chatter. So if you guys have strings that you want us to test and talk about like this, let us know. We also, it's fun for us. So thanks for joining.
Have
and
a good Friday or whatever day it is where you're at. And hit us up on the YouTube. Hit us up.
Yeah,
guys.
we're on the YouTube, so let us know.
One of our friends, Derek, is saying to let the folks on YouTube know when a day or two before we go live. We did. We did. What do you mean, man?
Okay, guys, we did. We put it in the vlog today. We also put up a poll yesterday referencing, but we will try to do a better job.
Yeah,
We're gonna
2 days beforehand.
We'll just be in your face.
We'll let you guys know the next time we go live.
Yeah.
Like 2 day prior, we'll let you know that
We'll
you
do
can.
it. We'll put it in shorts.
Tweet it out on
Yeah.
Facebook.
Yeah, it was on our Instagram.
It
was on our YouTube.
Yeah.
But
just real quick, I saw one.
Yeah.
Someone asking polys that don't move because they string low or something like that. Go with a thicker gauge. This element worked really well. 4G is a good one. You can go with any of the Solinco stuff, but thicker gauge. Try that out, and that should help with.
Are you
with
saying
string
like
movement.
15 gauge?
16.
Okay.
16 is good. Nothing below 125. I would say, because once you start going below 125, then you get the strings all over the place.
All over. They move. They're moving. Anything else fun? Did we miss anything?
Nope. I don't think
Looks
so.
good.
Looks good.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for joining.
Thanks
Happy
for joining,
hitting. Yay, tennis.